Welcome guys, thank you so much for joining in. So today in this video, I'm going to give you a very interesting update on what could be playing out next for Bitcoin and Ethereum, because right now, if you monitor this price movement of Bitcoin USD using this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, you can see guys, since the price of Bitcoin right now has clearly pierced through this 61.80 Fibonacci level, there is a very likely scenario that we are going to move towards this 76.39% Fibonacci level, because this here right now is very important price level, because in a weekly time frame, whenever the price was able to pierce through this red line, which was the 61.80 Fibonacci level, we headed straight towards this yellow line that was the next Fibonacci level of 76.39 and also reached the top part on the previous one. Let's go back here and look at this scenario again. Price pierced through this red line, which was the 61.80 Fibonacci level, headed towards this next Fibonacci level of 76.39, pierced through it and also reached the top part. Here, one example. You can see we didn't reach the top part of this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, but we still managed to test the yellow line, the next Fibonacci line of 76.39, after piercing through this red line of 61.80. So what I'm actually trying to show you here is that since the price of Bitcoin right now has also pierced through this red line area, this 61.80, so this is showing us that, hey, in the coming days or week, there is a very likely scenario that the price of Bitcoin moving towards the next Fibonacci level of 76.39%, and that could be around 61 to 62,000 price level. So now let's also look at the price action in a daily time frame and see what could be unfolding next. So in a daily time frame, as you can see, we have talked about this scenario already. This ascending channel along with this Fibonacci extension level, which is playing a very important role, because you can see the upper line here is clearly acting as a very strong resistance line. And if you have watched my video from yesterday, I told you guys, first the resistance would be around this 0.786 Fibonacci extension level of 48,100 to 48,200, since the price now has clearly pierced through the line. And now, if we are also going to break this 49,000 price level today and find support above it, then there is a very likely scenario that we are going to continue further in an upper direction towards the 100% Fibonacci extension level, and that's going to be around 53,300 to 53,400 price level. And why is this price level to the upside is so important is because I'm going to come back that in a smaller time frame. But first, any sort of a rejection, also have to prepare ourselves, right? Because any sort of a rejection, we know 48,100, 48,200 is going to be a very strong support. And if this is also going to fail, we could also see this kind of like a shakeout or a flash crash before again continuing upper direction. And in that case, our eyes are going to be around this 44,000 price level being a very strong support. So now let me show you what price structure could be unfolding here in a 4-hour time frame, because this here is actually in a daily time frame. And in a 4-hour time frame, if you look at this price structure, we have also talked about this WYCKOFF's reaction phase. And according to this WYCKOFF reaction phase, I told you guys, price of Bitcoin could be forming this very nice ascending triangle before starts breaking in an upper direction. And this is exactly happening right now with Bitcoin price action, because when we did this video, the price was not even actually forming this ascending triangle, but we were already pointing out this ascending triangle was on the play, because according to this WYCKOFF, before hitting an upper direction, before this impulsive move, the price is going to see some sort of a pullback or shakeout type of scenario and then continue in an upper direction. I mean, in our case, this here is a very nice uptrend, right? So price here is showing a very impulsive move, but before even moving in this manner, we are going to see some sort of a consolidation or shakeout type of scenario before price heading in an upper direction. And this is exactly what we are also witnessing with Bitcoin price action right now. And if this is going to continue further in an upper direction, our upper target for Bitcoin, looking at this ascending triangle, would be somewhere around 53,300 to 53,400. And I just showed you with this Fibonacci extension level, this 100% Fibonacci extension level, you can see 53,350 to 53,400 being our potential next target here to the upside. And this is exactly what could also get triggered. But we could also see this kind of shakeout type of scenario, right, before moving again in an upper direction. So this scenario should also be taken into consideration. Let me show you in a proper way. In our hourly time frame, we need to know some area of support and resistance, because we know any sort of a pullback, we have to be prepared, right? So in this case, if we are going to see some sort of a rejection, now we also know that this price level here, right, this price level of 48,300, 48,200 is there acting as a support. But any sort of a pullback, I just showed you with this example, this ascending triangle, right? If you look at this as an ascending triangle, you can see the price looks like it is already breaking out of it. So any sort of a pullback could also see a move in this manner before even continue towards this 53,000 price target level to the upside. What could also play out is a shakeout type of scenario, right? And then again a move here in this manner, because we have seen this ascending triangle has seen a lot of shakeout or fake out type of scenario before again continuing in an upper direction. So that's why we have to be very careful around this price level. And to the downside, as I've already said you, 44,000 level is going to be our target level if this is going to see any sort of a fake out, right? So these are some of the scenario I want to share regarding Bitcoin. So now let's also have a quick look on Ethereum price action. So if we look at this Ether USD in a daily time frame, you know, we have also already talked about this rising trend line being a possible trend direction, because it has not only just acted as a trend direction but also as a very strong support line for Ether in a daily time frame. You can see here, right? So we want to know if this trend is going to continue further in upper direction, which price target to look for, and any sort of a rejection, where could the trend be possibly heading? Because if you monitor this price movement using this Fibonacci extension table, just like with Bitcoin, guys, you can look at this price structure in a very simplest way. You can see now any sort of a price pullback, this 1710, 1720 is going to be a very strong support, and I'm still going to look for this upward movement. But any sort of a rejection, then we also know that this trend line, this rising trend line, which has previously acted as a very strong support, not just only once or twice, it has acted as a support plenty of times. So this price pullback could again land around this rising trend line, find support, and then move here in an upper direction towards our target of 2200 price level here in an upper direction. And why this is so important to understand is because you can add different scenarios here, guys. Doesn't matter, right? The line which previously acted as resistance could be acting as a support. So this is going to be a buying opportunity, because we can clearly see that this trend here is flashing a really nice move in an upper direction. Maybe it's not going to be a move like what we witnessed in Bitcoin price action, the parabolic move here. Maybe it's going to be a slow move, but you can still see this is clearly a higher highs, higher lows continuation type of pattern. If you add this ascending channel here, the upper line is going to be a very strong resistance line for us, and we can witness that. So but still you can see this is a higher highs, higher lows continuation type of pattern, even if we are going to see any sort of a pullback around the lower line of this ascending channel. So now let's look at this in a smaller time frame. So guys, now if we look at this Ether USD in a 4-hour time frame, what we can do is we can add this ascending channel, because since this upper line here has rejected the price plenty of time, right, we were aware that if we want to break out of this line, then we have to find proper support above this 1820 price level. And I said you that yesterday very clear, but you can see the price here was unable to find support, and now we are seeing some sort of a rejection. But we also have to take this scenario into consideration, because in a smaller time frame here, if we switch this into hourly time frame, you can see the central line here is going to be a strong support, because we have seen in the past Ether price action, it has either acted as a support or a resistance. So now you can see the price could be getting gravitated towards this central line area, which is going to be acting as a support. But if you want to say, hey, we are not looking at this central line, we are only looking at this in a hourly time frame as a ascending channel, then we can see the lower line is again around this 1750 to 1760, which is going to be a very strong supportive line. And this here, right, could be again a move in an upper direction. And these are some of the price structure what I see could be unfolding next for Ether in a smaller time frame, and also as I've already showed you in a daily time frame. But if you look at this in a bigger time frame, the price of Ether is showing a very impulsive move, because right now if we look at this price structure, since the price of Ether has clearly broken out of this previous temporary resistance line, which was a buy signal, so you can see since then the price is showing a very nice move. But according to this Livermore pivotal point theory, breaking the temporary resistance line is going to trigger another new trend in an upper direction. If you look at the example, let me also show you an example with Bitcoin, okay? Because if you look at this price structure of Bitcoin, when we broke this 20,000 price level, you can see we did got a rejection, but after breaking it, this was a very impulsive move, just like what we actually talked in my videos, the Livermore pivotal point theory, because breaking previous temporary resistance line is going to be a buying opportunity, and it's going to trigger a new impulsive move. And this is exactly what happened with Bitcoin price action. You can see this impulsive move after that, and this is exactly what I'm actually trying to show you here for Ether in a bigger time frame, because in a bigger time frame you can see this price movement here is just starting, right? So even if we are going to see any sort of a consolidation or pullback type of scenario, you should not worry, because this here in a bigger time frame is flashing a very bullish scenario for Ether. This is where you should actually look, not the smaller time frame, guys. And now if you look at this both Ether Bitcoin chart, you can also see here. So if you look at this Ether USD chart in a weekly time frame, right now Ether USD is showing some sort of a pullback, which is pretty obvious because right now the price of Bitcoin is going pretty bullish. But if you look at this here, according to this ascending broadening wedge, this rejection what we are finding, this pullback here, this is exactly the type of scenario what we are also witnessing. Look at this confirmation line here from this point E area. This is exactly what we are also looking at for Ether, because now if this example, this Ether Bitcoin price is going to play out just like with this ascending bottom type of scenario, then you can see the upcoming days for Ether could be very, very bullish compared to Bitcoin. So this is why I'm actually very excited for this upcoming Ether move in a bigger time scale, guys. So these are some of the example I thought sharing with you in today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this video was helpful enough. If that's the case, then hit the like button, and also if you're watching this for the first time, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell. So guys, by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.